What is going on, guys? We are here, how to get into drama school. We are talking to Nasiyr Muhammad, one of our students. So introduce yourself and let us know what school you are going to, man.
Hi, my name is Nasiyr Muhammad. I trained with Brandon and Anthony from How to Get into Drama School, and I will be going to Rutgers University, Mason's Gross School of the Arts.
Yes, man. Yes. It's so exciting. So you're going to start that in the fall of 2021. You can go to acting department, which is great. So what we all want to know, we really want to know, how did this happen? How did you get into drama school? What was your journey? Where did that begin for you? Where did your journey to drama school begin?
Well, I would say it began senior year, where I was, performing and performing in my school plays, and I was like, well, now there's this big step. I've been doing this in high school, and I have to figure out how to transition to get into the industry. And I thought, I still need more training. There's still more that I feel that I need to be a confident enough actor to go out there and try to audition for these roles and book these jobs, because I've been auditioning during high school, and I think for me it was more of a confidence thing, and not knowing, not having certain amounts of training. So I decided that I wanted to go to drama school. I had no idea about what were good drama schools and what were bad drama schools. So I had just auditioned I picked maybe like 3 or 4 schools, and one of them was in my town, which was the big one, NYU, which is a big school for a lot of people that they want to go to.
Now, did you go to a performing arts high school?
No, I went to public high school. I went to Valley Stream Central High School in Long Island.
Okay, cool. So New York and Valley Stream, yeah. So you went to a regular public school and you wanted to go to an arts college.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so that makes sense. Yeah, because a lot of people, I went to performing arts high school, but I know a lot of our kids or our students come from just regular public schools. And doesn't mean that you can't go to drama school. You just got to find the resources to help you get there. Yeah. So you were saying that you looked at NYU?
Yes, I looked at NYU, Long Island University, I believe I looked at, and I forget what the other schools were, but the New School, and there was one other school, but it wasn't of high prominence in performing arts. So I had auditioned for these schools, and I got into 2 out of 4, and they were the 2 that I got into. I had a conversation about my father, and I had a conversation with my father, and of course, father's parents, they want to make sure you don't throw yourself into something where you won't be able to handle it financially when you get out. So after having a discussion with my father, I realized that if I'm going to go to school and pay these ridiculous amounts of money to go here, it's got to be somewhere that's going to put me where I need to be when I get out. So I decided, okay, I got into these schools, so I know I'm not bad. I know I'm not horrible. So I still need more training, because I didn't get into what the school I wanted to at the time, which was NYU. So I was like, okay, I need to be polished. So I'm looking online, like how to get into drama school, and eventually, this little video with titled Juilliard Grad tells you how to get into drama school. I watch it. I'm like, wow, that was some really useful information that I wouldn't have known if I hadn't looked for it. So
wait, so let me stop you right there quickly, just to clarify. So even before you found our little video on YouTube, how to get into drama school. You had already auditioned for schools and had gotten into certain schools, but not the
Yes.
ones that you wanted. Yeah, okay, cool. I didn't even know that, man.
Oh, you didn't?
I did not. I did not know
Oh, yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Okay, so
So I
um
watched it. Okay.
no, yeah.
So I watched the video, and I was like, this is some really useful information. So I started watching more. Of you guys' videos. Then I saw you. I believe there's two other coaches I believe you guys had at the time. And I was like, okay, wow, these guys really know what they're talking about. But then I'm like, okay, well, what is Juilliard? So now I'm looking into these, I'm digging, I'm doing more research, and I'm finding that Juilliard is a top acting school. Other schools like Carnegie Mellon and UNCSA and Rutgers and Pace and all these people. So I'm like, these guys know their stuff. I feel like I need to get in contact with these guys. So I emailed Anthony. Anthony emailed me back.
Yeah.
I got on a
And
call with him.
and then we started that process.
Yep, and then we started that process. Yep.
So, question, and we will get to the process of you preparing and how you did that and how much time. But let's go back to these schools really quickly. So, you had auditioned for Long Island University, NYU, and I think it was another program. And then you watched the videos and found out UNCSA, Rutgers, Carnegie Mellon, all that stuff. I want to tell me what helped you choose schools. Why did you not go back to the same first list of schools that you did for the second time around you auditioned?
Right. Well, what helped me heavily decide on schools were your guys' suggestions. And then after looking at your suggestions, I went in and I dug. I was like, okay, what really makes a school or their program, have such a high profile? And I saw that one of the big things was faculty, like the people who you get to teach. I looked also, some schools have like certain curriculums. They posted curriculums on their websites. So I was looking at these schools and I was looking at the type of classes they were offering. I was reading reviews on how rigorous their training was, what type of training, what type of techniques they teach you. All that stuff really played into me picking the schools that I chose to audition for.
Yeah, because I think me and Anthony, we talk about in our book, How to Get to Drama School, that there's so many factors that could go into choosing a school. Location, again, the curriculum, the faculty, deciding if you want to do a BA, BFA, or MFA, and you're going for a BFA, which is a Bachelor in Fine Arts, which most of the time is a 4-year degree. So all of these factors go into choosing a school and why. Yeah. So, which schools did you end up auditioning for, or did you end up finally choosing?
I auditioned for 10 schools.
10 schools.
I don't know. I'm gonna try to remember them off the top of my head. I auditioned for Juilliard, Carnegie Mellon, UNCSA, UCLA, USC, Fordham University, NYU, Pace, and Rutgers. So 10.
Yeah, you did. You did it. I was checking my list. I've got notes on you. Yeah, those are all the schools. And yeah, you did. You auditioned for all those schools. And I think it's great. I think it's great that you threw your hat into the ring of so many different options. That's the point. Like, a lot of people come out here and they're like, oh, I'm only going to audition for Juilliard. I'm only going to audition for Yale, or just choose one of the top schools. And that's great. But why not see what else is out there?
Right.
Try your hand at the different schools, the different programs that offer so many different things.
Right.
Cool.
And I'm glad I did that because there was so many different audition experiences, and the way certain people audition sort of made me the certain programs, the way they held the audition process, it sort of gave me a vibe of like, okay, what I want to work with these people, their adjustments some of their adjustments, the way they chose to adjust me, I was like, okay, is this something that I can relate to and do on a regular?
Yeah.
I feel like them auditioning, having such different audition experiences really helped in choosing which school I really ultimately wanted to go to.
Yeah. So let's talk about how you got into Rutgers. Let's talk about all of these auditions and what pieces you chose. Yeah. So most schools, most BA, BFA, or MFA programs are looking for anywhere between 2 to 4 monologues. Sometimes 2 contemporary, 2 classical. Sometimes 1 contemporary, 1 classical. So how many monologues did you have? What did you prepare? How did you find them? Tell us everything.
I prepared 4 monologues. The Glass Menagerie by Tennessee Williams is Tom Wingfield. Measure for Measure, 2 Measure for Measure pieces by William Shakespeare. One is the role of Claudio and the other is the role of Angelo. And my 4th piece was Gilbert of Frank by Terence Mosley in the role of Frank. And I found the way I found the Glass Menagerie, I was already in love with Tennessee Williams, like after reading a Streetcar Named Desire, I believe. I had read that, and then I had watched the movie, Marlon Brando, and then I was sort of in love with his poetry style of writing. Absolutely. So I was looking to read another play by him, and I read The Glass Menagerie, and the story, I felt the story just it was so relatable to me, because I had also been, sort of going through, I've been sort of, I don't want to dig too deep into it, but I was going sort of through what Tom was going through at the time.
You were able to relate to the character's circumstances a little bit.
Right. So it felt only natural. And it just felt really, plus I love Tennessee Williams. So it felt natural to choose that piece.
I love that you're saying that, because Anthony and I will always talk about it. It doesn't matter how great the piece is or how great the writer is. It's how you feel about the piece. It's how you connect to the point of view of the character that you're choosing. And the fact that, Tom spoke to you and what he was going through at that point in his life, what you're going through at your point in life, there's a parallel line there that only helped you be better and bring it to life. So it's great.
The way I chose Measure for Measure, Claudio, which was the first 2 pieces I chose. I wanted a heavy thing for me as being an actor, like in my mind, what an actor is they have to have range. If that I worded that weirdly, but I most of my favorite actors have really big range. So like whenever they play a certain character, you don't see the personality of the actor through the character, you see that character. Because there are some actors, you watch them perform and they're good performing, but you see their personalities in the role. And an actor, for me, you never see their personality. You just see that character. So when picking Claudio, I wanted to try my hand at showcasing range. And of course, they asked for 2 contrasting pieces. And I'm watching your guys' videos. I would have never known that contrasting doesn't always mean comedic and dramatic. So, and finding contrasting pieces, I saw that the 2 characters were completely different. They were 2 totally ends of the spectrum. So I felt that the Claudio was a good piece in contrast to the Tom Wingfield piece, which is why I chose that one.
For sure, yeah, contrasting is important. Yeah, and contrasting does not mean happy, sad, or funny, sad. Contrasting is the characters have to be different. The characters' points of view could be drastic. They could grow up in 2 totally different time periods, different cultures. Like that's already contrasting. Like, you know, the circumstances. So that's good that you're able to find two characters, same play, but definitely contrasting. Yeah, great. So that was Measure for Measure, Glass Menagerie. What else?
So I picked the Gilbert of Frank Terrence Mostly, the Terrence Mostly piece.
Gilbert and Frank. That's the name of the play.
Gilbert or Frank, yes.
Oh,
It's not a really big, well-known play. But I believe I had
so
seen.
Tell us how you found that.
Oh yes. I had seen a video recording of the play at one point, but I don't think you can find it anymore on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
It's not I don't think it was recorded legally. So
There you go.
it might have been taken off. So I had seen a recording of the play, and I just it was so different and authentic, and I was like, this play is really something, and I wanted to also showcase, because, you know, the play, the two pieces I had picked originally, you know, they're written by, you know, white men, you know, talking about white men. So I really wanted to find a piece that is sort of specific to me, written by, you know, a Black man, talking about a Black man, just something to identify with me, so that I can sort of connect to it, like as I did the other two pieces.
Absolutely.
And you know, so, you know, I wanted to sort of steer away from overdone pieces. So finding that piece and seeing that, you know, a lot of people really don't know that piece.
Yeah.
I feel like it would be like sort of a breath of fresh air for, you know, them hearing the same overdone pieces all. And I also related to it. So it was
absolutely. Yeah, two things that you said that I totally want to touch upon. It's like that you found a piece that resonated with you, and you wanted to find a piece that resonated with your culture, that spoke about your culture and issues that you may go through, that with which you identify with as a Black man in America, a Black man in the arts. So finding a playwright of color, a man of color, whose words you want to speak, and it resonates with you, again, all of those things help you be a better performer of the piece, because you can relate to it. It resonates with you. You understand the point of view that your character's coming from, regardless if you've been part of the circumstances or not. So that's great. And then also you said you wanted to try not to do an overdone piece, which I think is awesome. And I think a lot of people always try to make sure they do that. And what I would say about overdone pieces, sure, there are pieces that are so popular that we see all the time, but it doesn't matter if it's overdone or not, as long as you do it well. Right. Do it well and truly tell the story. The problem with overdone pieces is that sometimes people want to tell their idea of that story, of what they've seen somebody else do or what they think it's about, as opposed to, you know, tell the story that's on the page. Right. If it's a great piece, it's a great piece. And if you connect to it, you're going to be great. So yeah. So you found your four pieces. So now you found your four pieces. None of this stuff you had worked on before. So I heard you said that you found some recordings online, you read some plays, you went after a playwright that you really enjoyed, Tennessee Williams. These are all great resources in finding pieces. You know, research online, visual aids, other plays, and going after your favorite playwrights. For sure. Absolutely, that's great, man. So you found your four pieces. You found these four pieces. How did you know what to do with them? What was the next step for you after that?
Okay, so I find the pieces, and so the step after that was getting into training, because I had my ideas, you know, I had the ways I had worked on pieces, and when I got into the room with Anthony, he sort of saw, and he was like, okay, I see you got the idea down. I see, you know, you have you know, you know what you're talking about. You know what you're trying to get. Now it's the task of showing it.
Right.
So
So you found your four pieces and realized that you wanted to get coaching. Some people do get coaching, some people don't. I think it's totally valuable to always have extra eyes on your work.
yeah, yes, I
Um,
do. I believe the same thing.
so you decided that you needed coaching. You found out against drama school, like you said,
Mhm.
on YouTube. And so yeah, you had your first lesson with Anthony. And so yeah, tell me about the process in terms of you worked with us for how long? What did you think about? Yeah, how long did you work on your pieces?
Oh, well, I found the pieces. I believe I want to say I found them in the summer of was 2020. I think it was 2020, the summer 2020.
Mhm.
Um, and then I believe I started working with you guys around August. Around August, from August, I think that was my first session with Anthony was in August. And then um so I had worked on the pieces. I had read them and worked on them prior, and I had figured out the idea and what I wanted to portray early in the summer, and then around August, going on to September, we started really cracking down on how we wanted to how we were going to show what my idea, what I felt like I wanted to portray. Um, uh, I was so lucky. I was so lucky enough to work with both of you guys because from working with Anthony is really I would say Anthony is more hands off until he'll like let you perform in full first and then see and then try to give you notes afterwards to see if you can implement them while you're performing the scene in full. Whereas with you, you're very hands on from the beginning. As soon as you see something that you think we can portray slightly differently, you were like, okay, let's see. You're right here. Okay, I see that you're right here. I like what you're doing, but I want you to try to feel this. I want you to try to look through this way, or try to do something that adds a little bit more to that drive. And I feel like I benefited from both from both of your ways because um you know, performing out in full first and then getting notes. It's like, okay, um, now I got these notes. All right, let me try to figure this out
Apply
while
it.
doing the flow
Try to,
of the full monologue, and then
but what
being
Anthony and I are doing,
right,
is really trying to give you specificity. You know, that's
right,
what all these pieces need: specificity and nuance. And also, we're trying to get you used to taking direction because that's going to happen in the room. There are
definitely,
three huge things that we say these schools are looking for: is the quality of work, your attitude, and the ability to take direction. Not
definitely,
only as a student, but also as an actor. You know, and it's not if you can do it correctly. It's just, do you have the tools right now to try and implement what I said? Because all we want to see is the try. We want to see the
right,
effort. So
right.
absolutely, that's
And
what we go after.
I think I also wanted to say that I benefited from both of them because doing the full, it was like it was practice for doing the real thing. Because once we got to the real thing, like in the audition, the the first time you perform, they just sit back and they let you perform, right?
Yeah.
They let you go full through. So it's like working with Anthony was like the first set of audition, and then when they give you adjustments, sometimes they'll try to talk through, and sometimes they'll stop you and give you more adjustments, or they'll try to speak, get into your mind, which was sort of which was more leaning towards what you did. So I felt like
Yeah.
it was preparing me for both sides.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. So we did that, and we worked on specificity and nuance and physicality, all that through the text of the contemporary and the classical from August all the way up until your audition. When was your first? So you auditioned for 10 schools. So you started auditioning, I believe, in what month?
December.
You started auditioning in December, yeah. And Juilliard is first?
Yep, Juilliard was first.
Juilliard first, all the way December, all the way until your last audition was?
Oh, goodness. I think it was March.
March. I was going to say March. Yeah. So a lot of people don't realize sometimes that how long this process can go on for. You know.
Yes.
So let's go back. You found your pieces in the summer of 2020, and then you started working them in August of 2020. You auditioned in December of 2020, and then continued to audition all the way until March of 2020.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
August, September, October, November, December, January, February, March. 7 months. It's a 7 to 8 month process. You know, and because you put in the work, you went, you found coaching. You did the research, you found your pieces. Guess what? You got into drama school. Yeah. So
Yep.
let's talk about getting into drama school. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about your day auditioning for Rutgers University. How did that go? Especially, okay. and also let us know all the details because you are the first generation, you're the first class to audition over Zoom. It's a huge thing that's happening now. And so
that is correct. We did audition over Zoom this year. So what a lot of the schools did was instead a lot of the schools, I think besides Juilliard and NYU, they required pre-screen first. They made you send in the pre-screen, which is a recorded audition. And that was a lot of schools' first look, and that was Rutgers' first look at me. I remember working on you with the pre-screen, making sure we got it right, and we got it right. I got a lot of callbacks from that pre-screen, and Rutgers was one of them. I think their callback came a little later than the rest of the schools. The second callback, they said they wanted to have a callback audition. So I went in for the audition, and
So let's talk about this real quickly. So you sent in a pre-screen, and a pre-screen is just a pre-recorded version of one of your monologues. I know we worked on. Right. They looked that up. They looked at that, and then they're like, yeah, let's see this kid again. And then they notified you for a callback, yeah?
Correct, yes.
So is this no details left unturned? I want to know, is it the morning? Is it the afternoon? Like, how did this go that day for the callback?
That callback, I believe, was at noon. I think it was at noon. They called. There were students. They had students in the. I think they were first year students. They had first year Rutgers students waiting in the lobby. You go in. I went in. There were other students there. You know, I was chatting with the students, trying to, you know, just to ease tension, ease my mind. You know, the first year students were basically talking about their auditions and stuff. They were very nice. And then the monitor, the person that was sending, they had a monitor that would send kids into, you know, the audition rooms. I believe there was like 15 other students that were auditioning with me that day for the callback. And I was, I think, in the second group. I think it was in the second group because they split us up in the groups. I was in the second group to audition, and when it was my turn, the monitor sent me into the room, and
what pieces did you do?
Oh, for the callback, I did the Glass Menagerie, and I did the Measure for Measure Claudio piece.
Were you nervous at all that day?
Usually, I think the only audition I was really nervous for was Juilliard. After that, it was just like, okay, I'm just excited now. Now I just want to go in there and show them what I can do. I just want to kill it, you know? Yeah. So at Rutgers, when I went in, I was like, okay, I'm excited. You know, they already called me back. And I think the call back is what got me so excited. is really what makes it, you know, excitement instead of nerves. It's like, oh, they already saw me. They want to see me again. So I must be doing something right. I'm excited, you know? So they called me back. I did, those were the 2 pieces I had prepared. I was met with the 2 teachers. I think it was Barbara and I'm blanking on the other professor's name, but I believe it was Barbara and another professor. It was a black man. It was black. So we get in there and I do my first piece. Boom, good. They've already seen it. I'm like, okay.
What's the first piece?
The first piece I did was the glass menagerie piece. And then the second, so now, and I'm knowing another reason I was excited to choose Rutgers was because we go to the global stage for Shakespeare. And
in London, like, yes, for your, yes. Is it your 2nd or 3rd year?
That's the 3rd year.
The 3rd year, yes. The Mason Gross Rutgers University program does take the class over to the globe over in London for a month
yes.
for the semester.
Mm-hmm.
It's really great.
So we went there. I know I have that in my mind. I know, okay, this is something that they do. This is something, you know, and they also asked for a Shakespeare piece. So I'm like, okay. And this piece, the Claudio, for some reason, it took a while to get there with it. You know, I remember working at it with sessions with you. We were going, we were trying to get there. We were trying to show. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, it just clicked. It just clicked that day. I don't know what exactly clicked, but I was there that day. And I had went there with that piece like I had never gone there with any other school that I auditioned with that piece for. And it was there, the intensity in my voice, the tears were streaming, the physicality, the brokenness, it was all there in that piece. And I surprised myself when I did it. So I was like, wow, okay. And then they asked, they were like, do you have any questions for us? And I asked them about, I said, I usually, I have trouble showing the full emotion and physicality and matching it with the words of Shakespeare. Do you have any tips, or do you think, is there anything you think I should work on? And they said that they usually do not do this. They usually don't try. They try not to say anything about a performance that you give, because, you know, they don't want to give you false hope or
right, of course,
information, you know, wrong information. They said they usually don't do this, but they said, we think you got it with that. They said we think you have. We think with this piece you found you found the emotion, you found the physicality, and we think you matched it perfectly with your vocal tone and the way you gave the words. So she was like, we don't think you need, we don't have much to say on that one. So I was like,
that's really great, and I commend you. I commend you for asking questions. That's the thing about walking into that room. They want to see who you are. They want to know how you think. How do you feel about art? What kind of art do you want to do? And curiosity, to show that you know that there's more out there, and you asked for their feedback, and they gave it to you, and it's all good. It's all great. So continue. I always say, ask questions, and show your curiosity when you want to know more.
Right. I think they also appreciated me knowing about me as an actor. I think so. Me asking the question of, hey, I sort of struggle with this. I don't think this is my strong suit. Is there something you know that I do think I can work on? And I think that I think a lot of, you know, people, the auditors that you audition for, I feel like they appreciate knowing where you stand as a performer, as you know, as opposed to you just going in there and just trying anything. And you know,
And what that is, man, is specificity. You're getting specific with what you want. Why am I here? What kind of actor do I want to be?
right,
Like, that's how I know that you're taking it seriously. You know, when
right,
I'm on the other side of the table and I'm auditioning people for high schools or programs, when I see that they have prior training, I'm like, oh, you've been investing in yourself.
right,
Yeah, so it's the same thing. It's the same thing when you know those certain things because you've invested time into thinking and understanding your craft. That's great. And
right,
we say that our MFA candidates all the time. Know why you want to go to school, especially for MFA, because you're going to go back to school again. Know what you're looking for. What didn't you get last time? What is that thing that you want?
right.
That's awesome. Cool. So you did your second piece for them. They gave you some great feedback. You asked your questions. What happened next?
After that,
And this
really
is all
after
over
that,
Zoom.
yes, this is all over Zoom, right?
All
So
over
after
Zoom.
that, they
So
yeah.
really quickly, this all over Zoom. In terms, could you see the people when you were auditioning? Did it feel
Well,
weird? Were you standing in your where did you audition? Standing in your bedroom? Did you do it in your living room?
I was standing right. I said I did all my auditions standing in this room, this blank wall right here. All my auditions. Um, yeah. Auditioning for Zoom, I wouldn't say it was too weird. Because you know I had been working with you. This also the benefits of getting coaching with you guys. We did this over Zoom and FaceTime all the time. So I was getting used. So really, if I was getting used to the transition to Zoom, it was with you guys when performing for you guys. So when I was with the teachers, it was like this is stuff I've already done before. You know, this is I'm ready for this now. So
Yeah.
performing in my room, it also gave me like a sense of comfort. um I know there are some performers that love to go to the buildings and perform in front of them, but for me sometimes I don't think I'm alone on this one. Sometimes that can be really intimidating, seeing seeing the big schools and seeing the
Mm-hmm.
fancy, everything that they have going on, and then going into these little, sometimes they have black box theaters that you audition into, and going into some of these rooms. It's like this is their comfort zone. This is not I'm stepping out of my comfort zone here to come and audition for you. So that was a little bit of advantage I had with the Zoom calls. I was in my comfort zone. I was in my room. I know this
Yeah.
room back and forth. So
Yeah.
that helped me out performing.
That's
I felt
great. That's
confident.
great, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. It's totally. I'm jealous that my auditioning definitely didn't happen in my bedroom. But that's
Yeah.
awesome. That's great. It's great that you feel that way. That you were able to feel comfortable and you were able to bring more of yourself to your audition. And again, we say that all the time. These auditors want you to be great, whether it's for a program or whether it's for a professional job. The person on the other side of the table is looking for you. They're looking for you. They're waiting for you to come in and do it and be like, oh, great, great. Yeah. So cool. So you did it. Oh, I quickly want to go back a little bit to the beginning of your audition. And
Okay.
how did you prepare it all emotionally? You know, like you said, you were able to wake up in your own bedroom, in your own home, and to do this very life changing moment.
Right.
You know, you did a lot of life changing moments in your bedroom this year.
Mhm.
How do you yeah, emotionally prepare yourself for that? The nerves and
Emotionally, uh, I wake up super early, no matter what time the audition is. I wake up early, um, and this was happening around like winter time. So a lot of the a lot it was usually dark outside. So I wake up super early. Um, Sometimes I just sit in my room and just let the darkness like just flow. And I take that moment as sort of like meditating, like a meditating moment. I just relax and I take a shower, then I get ready, and then right before the call even starts, I run through my pieces 2 or 3 times. So usually there's the first time there's no emotion. I just run through it to get the words. And then the second 2 times, I try to, this is when I try to experiment with it differently than I've been doing it, because I don't want to keep going into the audition room getting a carbon copy of the same thing that I've been doing, since the beginning. So it's sort of when I act, I do silly exercises and sort of like just get weird with it. And then when I log on to the calls and start talking to people, and then I get prepared. They give you the time to while you're waiting, other people are auditioning. I take that time to really sit and think. I'm like, okay, I already ran it, 3 times already. Let me take the time to look and see what the purpose of these dialogues are. I remember reading in Anthony's book, in both of you guys' book, the How to Get into Drama School book. There was a small passage, or I think it was a paragraph, but you guys say the problem with a lot of actors auditioning with monologues is that they look at them as monologues instead of dialogues. And really these monologues, they're, this is dialogue. This is something you're saying to someone. There's a purpose you're speaking. There's a reason you're speaking this long. Why are you speaking this long? What is driving you to talk for this long? It's a monologue, sometimes a minute, 2 minutes. Why are you speaking this long? Break it down. So right before the auditions, I would take the time to sit down and think, okay, first piece, why am I speaking this long? What did she do to me? What is my goal? What am I trying to get from saying this stuff? And usually just putting myself in taking the time to sit down and put myself in a mindset and ask these questions is all enough I needed to get in that mindset, getting to, feel the emotion, to sort of pick up the physicality. It's just like, how would you react? How do you think this person would react? Try to combine the two.
That's great, man. It's great what you're saying. Also, it's like, it's like just your prep for your audition is like, how do you, at Juilliard, we talk a little bit about acting teachers used to say like the button, like, sometimes like what are the things you need to say to yourself, remind yourself in the like 4 minutes that you have before that get you there. They get you where you need to be. Where do I need to be emotionally? Where do I need to be physically? Like my prior moment. How do I fill myself up enough with my prior moment to move forward and tell the story? So, right on, man. It's dope. It's great. I'm so proud to hear all of that. So cool. So cool. So let's go back to the day of the audition. Yeah. So you did your 2 pieces. Boom. They gave you the feedback. Go.
So they gave me feedback. I'm like, okay, cool. So they send me back to the lobby with the rest of the people.
This is again in Zoom, so they sent you back to a waiting room.
Okay. Right, we went back to the waiting room lobby, and so I think I asked a few more questions, and I leave. That was it. That was it for that day. So the one thing, I think this is what really sold me on Rutgers. This is one thing that they do a lot differently than a lot of the schools. Well, no, this is not something that they do a lot differently, but this is sort of, it was, I think they're the only school that did it over Zoom this year. Rutgers called me back and they called for a callback weekend where they ran the full, or not the full, because they had, the time and Zoom. They ran basically sort of what like a full day of Rutgers would be like. So, I believe they gave me that callback in like early February, the callback weekend.
So that's what you found out that day, at that callback day, you found out
Oh, no. I waited, I think it might have been a week after. The week after that callback that I did, I got an email saying that they wanted to see me for a callback weekend in February.
Great. So that time that you auditioned, and they gave you the good feedback, your day was over after that.
Yes, it was. It was a very short day. Yes.
Very short day. Cool. Very short day. And then now take us to the callback weekend, which happened. How much time before your first callback and the callback weekend?
Well, it was a week for me to receive the email. So, and then they said, I think it was late January when I got the email, and then they said they wanted to do the callback weekend. I might, don't quote me on this, I believe it was February 12th that they held the callback weekend. It was only a day.
So roughly between the callback where you got the good feedback and actually the day of the first day of the callback weekend is like anywhere between like a month or like a couple of weeks in between, yeah?
Yeah, like 2 to 3 weeks, I think.
2 to 3 weeks, yeah. So 2 to 3 weeks audition for the same school again, for the same people. Talk to me a little bit about how you kept your pieces, quote unquote, let's say fresh.
Fresh. Cool. In between that time, I believe I had other auditions. And in between that time, so I believe that is sort of what kept. And then of course I kept. We had our sessions.
A couple of sessions. Yeah.
Yes, we had our sessions. So there really was no time to rest and leave the pieces alone. Because I had been, I had continued to do them. But there were a couple of days. I do believe that there are some days that you should just leave it alone. Like just take a break from it. Take a break from it, because you keep repeating that so much can sort of become stale. It can sort of like, okay, I've done this like hundreds of times, which is why it's important to pick pieces that you really love, because you will be doing them a lot. I auditioned to 10 schools, so I did it so many times I don't even want to try to count.
Yeah, but it's a great way.
Yes. But in between those times, I had I think 2 other school auditions, and we were doing sessions. So each session, each audition, I would try to do something slightly different, add actions, take away actions. Try to do different.
There's so many different ways. Yeah, there's so many different ways to tell a story.
Yes, of course.
As long as you're actually telling from the true point of view, surrounded by the playwright's circumstances that have been given to you. There's so many different ways that you can tell the same story. So it's great. So between the sessions, auditioning for schools, and you, doing your crazy little exercises, that's great. That's how you keep fresh, do different things. You want to see what else is there. Because pieces grow as we grow.
Right.
You will not perform Claudio or Tom Glass Menagerie the same after these 4 years of Rutgers. You can't. You won't. Because you'll be a different person, you'll be a different actor. So pieces grow. So cool. Let's get to this callback weekend.
That was an incredible experience. The first day, I guess the beginning of the day, we go in, they had like this welcome ceremony. So it's like, welcome to Rutgers Callback. This is how this day is gonna go. And then at the very beginning, they had us like, I think we had like this sort of meditation session where we just like let our bodies go, just relax, and sort of just like get ourselves warmed up for the day. And I believe they had, I'm trying to remember the schedule. It was a long day. It was I believe it's from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. So we started off with the welcome session. Then I believe our first class was movement, and we were in movement, and we did exercises. We did meditation, we did relaxation, and all this stuff. And it was really fun to just let myself go. You know, of course, you gotta sort of be aware of your surroundings because we are on Zoom. We're on Zoom, but I don't think it really took away from this experience at all. I think it was just as I think it was just as exciting as it would have been in the rooms that they had if they had done it at the school.
No.
Um, um, we did movement. Um, I think we did some type of character creation after that, and then there was like a lunch break. There was a
Mm.
lunch break, and then we came back. We came back, and after the lunch, we I'm blanking. We did our pieces. That's what we came back. We came back from lunch, and it was like, okay, this is still an audition,
Yeah, right.
So so they made us do our pieces. Um,
Did you do the same pieces again?
I did. I actually the good thing about that is they only wanted you to do one piece because there was so much time in the day. So they only wanted you to do one piece, and they asked for the piece that they wanted to see.
Right.
And so the piece that they wanted to see from me was the contemporary piece that I had did. I wasn't too surprised there from the previous callback. So
Mhm.
they wanted to see my contemporary piece again, and I did my contemporary piece, and then
Which
we
was?
waited. Oh, which was the Glass Menagerie with Tom Wingfield, and then we waited uh, for everyone else to finish their auditions, and then after that, I believe we had like this. We sat down and watched I think it was like a documentary of all the different types of theater. Because when we think about theater, we usually think about traditional, stage, audience.
Hmm.
You know, there's sort of like a gap there.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, we learned about all the types of theater, the theater that's integrated. Like literally, you could go outside, get a couple friends, come up with a story, and just perform for people. You can even make the audience a part of and that's
Yeah,
still theater. So
immersive did it.
it was so it was beautiful to see all the different types of theater, the culture, because every culture has theater, which is something
Hmm.
I had no idea. I didn't know. I didn't know that theater was expanded to like all types of different cultures.
Yeah.
So um, they would they showed us um, all different types of theater. So and then we talked, and then we sort of went through of like what your schedule and curriculum would sort of be like.
Hmm.
And then after that, I think they had like a little interview with everybody. They just
And this is
talked.
still the first day.
Yes, this is all still in one day. So
Yeah.
they um that's why I put it in quotation marks. They said callback weekend, but it was only really one day. It was really
Right,
one
right,
day
right.
with the whole schedule. So um we sit there, and so they wanted to have like little interviews with people. So sheesh, I'm stretching trying to remember some of the questions. We go in, and I go in, and they're like, "Hey, how did you enjoy Rutgers the callback weekend or day that we had today?" And I was like, "Oh man, it was incredible. I learned a lot, especially the the from the documentary." I told them
Hmm.
how like I was inspired by all the different cultures, and the fact that I could literally just go outside and just
Yeah.
perform for somebody, and it can be theater. Um, and then I forgot to mention this earlier. This was important to me because I'm also a screenwriter. So as an actor, I try to just, dive into like a different form, but it's like it's still connected in a way.
Oh yeah.
So as a screenwriter, I there was there was this class that they had. It was like a character creation class, and in the class we listened to this song. They had us listen to this song and write down like 3 lines of a story. And we listen to the song, and whatever just comes to your imagination, you write it down. And I told them that because of this little thing that you guys did, you just threw in there, the little thing that you did, I now have a story to walk away with for a short story that I recently just finished, and I'll be putting together over the summer with friends. So
that's cool, man. Just a little spark of inspiration.
Yep, just
That's
letting
great.
them know,
Yeah.
let them know how they inspired me.
But this is exactly what they want, man. Like this, especially at the interview, whether the interview happens at the beginning of your audition or at the end, they want to know what makes you tick. Like, what do you like about art? What do you like about theater? What do you want to do with your theater? And the fact that you were able to have that experience with them and then actually tell them what the result of it is going to be, it's really great. It's really great. Just continue to show yourself, continue to show your passion, curiosity. Is teachers love that. I love students who want to learn. I feel like there's more out there. So, and that's exactly what you showed them. So you did your interview and you enjoyed their exercises. What else?
So after the interview, they were like, okay, well, we appreciate you you coming. I was like, I appreciate you guys for having me. And then we were like, and then they said, okay, you can go back to the lobby, or you can leave if you decide to. Because this will be the conclusion of our day. So thank you. I went back to the lobby, said bye to all the people, because the strange thing about that is there were people there that I had seen before from other auditions, which is why I also appreciated auditioning to so many schools, because I made friends from seeing people at other auditions that I wouldn't have seen or met.
There are other people out there on this journey with you. It could feel so isolated. You can feel like you're in a bubble with either just you and your coach, or maybe just you and your pieces. But no, there are hundreds, thousands of kids out here putting in the work, doing the same thing that you were doing at the same time. And so, yeah, it's great when you can see that those familiar faces are just people with the same passion as you,
right?
Like-minded individuals. It's great. Yeah.
So I said bye to all of them, and really that was my end of the day for them, for Rutgers. And then I believe. I don't want to say, I think a month ago from today, I got an email. I was at some hotel with my friends, and I got an email, and it says, "You're in Rutgers, congratulations, Rutgers." I was like, oh my God. Especially around my friends, I'm like, oh my God, I got it at Rutgers. This is my mom's school. Oh my God, this means so much. And I was like running up and down the halls of the hotel.
Yeah.
Excited.
Yeah, man. Let me know. We share the excitement with you, man. We are proud. We are elated. The growth that you made, man, over the time. And when you put in hard work and you put in a work that's going to elicit the caliber of response that you want. Yeah, you can put in the work that's going to elicit the caliber of response that you want. So if you want the best, you got to put in the best.
Right.
Yeah, and you did that. You did that. And it's great. Now you get to go to Rutgers University. It's a great program. Your mom went there. It's great. It's legacy. It's beautiful. It's dope, man. It's dope. It's dope.
Okay. So excited about it.
Yeah. So let's see. I mean, honestly, man, like we're thrilled that you're going there. I would say, what are 3 things that you're looking forward to and attending that your new school, your drama school?
I would say one, I'm looking forward to trying out a new technique of acting because Rutgers they teach mostly Meisner.
Hmm.
And I've tried out other techniques. I've tried Lee Strasberg. I've tried the Ivana Chubbuck technique, which is a technique from Los Angeles. It's not known,
Yeah.
but she's helped people. And
Oh yeah,
um,
Stanislavski. Yeah.
yes, I've tried different techniques. So I'm very excited to see how Meisner differs and see if I can connect with Meisner more. See that's one thing. That's one thing I'm excited about. Second thing is I'm excited to work with the faculty. I'm excited to see how invested they are. Because one of the things I loved about you guys were heavily invested. You guys were always trying to throw me into things. I remember we had a workshop for a mock audition workshop,
Yeah.
and you guys were like, "Oh, would you wanna audition?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure." So I love working with you guys because you guys were so invested, and that's one thing I really hope um, the faculty at Rutgers is. I hope they're incredibly invested. If they find out about things, they try to throw you in. Like, hey, maybe I think you should. I think it'd be really good for trying this out. But of course, they're training. You're supposed to be there for training, so that probably won't happen as much. But they, I feel like I hope that they're very invested, and I got the sense that they are, and that they'll try to figure out you as a performer and see like, okay, this is you. I feel like you'd be good for this. I feel like you should try this. I feel like I want you to work on this because if you get it, it'll be phenomenal.
Yeah, man.
And I believe the third thing, of course, I'm looking forward to going to London. London is
Yes.
working.
Yes.
Going to London,
Yes.
doing Shakespeare is
Yes.
gonna be
I
awesome.
mean, it can't get more authentic than that. Like, going
Right.
learning Shakespeare at the Globe, man. It can't. Oh, it's so cool. I have friends who have graduated from there, and that is always one of the highlights of their time there at Rutgers. So I'm so glad that you'll get to experience that. So glad, so glad, so glad. Nasiyr, man, this has been so awesome talking to you, catching up. You're now on the other side. It's not like how to get into drama school. This is how I got into
Right.
drama school. And it's
Mhm.
so exciting, so proud. Um, let's leave the people with some final thoughts, man. What do you just want to, some encouraging words that you think that people in your position, because they're about to be right where you are. June's coming up, August is coming up, and you're going to start doing this whole process again. What do you have to say to them, man?
I would say the biggest thing. I think the biggest thing it was for me. The biggest thing that you could you could you could. I think the biggest thing to be able to put yourself in a good position is to take care of yourself, your mindset, be open to change. Because I know a lot of people, it was for me too, when I came in here, I was like, man, Juilliard is my dream. I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna get, because Juilliard has such high prominence, So it's like Juilliard, I'm gonna get there. And this is gonna be my school. I'm gonna do it. I'm getting training. I'm gonna be good. But be open, because I was open to looking at different schools, and another school became my dream, the school that I got into. So being open to change, because sometimes I know we all have a plan, we want to work through that plan. Sometimes the plan doesn't go. Sometimes the plan doesn't fall through. Sometimes there are changes, but if you're open to, or if you're open to finding a new route to your destination, I
Yeah.
think you'll be set.
Yes, I totally agree, man. I echo what you said. And we're going to leave it at that. Nasiyr, thank you so much for your time today, man. Brother, it was a pleasure speaking to you. It was a pleasure teaching, and it's a pleasure to keep watching this journey, because it's really about to get exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
for sure. So till next time, man. Thanks a lot.